for the Local Enterprise Assistance Program is the LEAP program. And that is what we are going to get started on. And I'm going to go ahead and click over and start the presentation and tell you a little bit about myself. I've had the pleasure of meeting most everyone who is on today. And if I haven't met you, I look forward to meeting you and visiting with you and learning more about yourselves and your businesses. About me, I've been in Buda for a very, very long time, maybe called a Buda native. I am a small business owner. I own Assemblage Contemporary Craftsman Gallery over at the Buda Mill and Grain. I've been now with the EDC for about a year and a half in this role, which I love coming to work every day and assisting other business owners like yourselves. And I am a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a traveler, and I am most definitely an animal lover. So there is my family and my lovely, beautiful bulldog, Penny. Okay. Let's get on with this. Local Enterprise Assistance Program is the LEAP program, which we think has a really nice ring to it and hopefully easy enough to refer to. So the program itself is, we're so happy, in place. A few updates, which is, I know, the reason why you've joined us this morning is to learn about these changes coming your way. So what are small incentives? Let's start with the basics in case some people might be on who have never really heard about this. We are a pretty unique program in the fact that the Buda EDC reinvest in our small businesses. So that is putting money back into the pockets of the businesses themselves. And Buda businesses and Buda area businesses can apply for these reimbursements. So it is a reimbursement incentive. That means you have to pay for it out of your pocket first, show proof of payment, and then you are reimbursed. And of course, that's in different categories that are put in front of you to be able to kind of work in and kind of keep in the confines of what you're allowed to be able to do and be reimbursed for. The Small Incentive Committee is made up of Buda EDC board members, and they review each of the incentive applications. So they meet once a month. I am at those meetings and I present the applications to the committee. And then if approved through them, it goes into the EDC board and is approved. And then businesses will be submitting documentation for the reimbursement. And typically, the entire process can run 30 to 60 days. Again, that kind of depends on lots of variables as to when your application goes in and when it is passed into the board, and then, of course, when the work is done. So we're going to cover all of that as we move forward here. The purpose of LEAP. It is to assist new and existing Buda-based small businesses. And here in Buda, all of our businesses, even some of the very large employers that you might think of, are considered small businesses. So by true definition, it's 500 employees or less. So the LEAP program is also here to promote new development and expansion and renovation of those businesses. Along the way, we must ensure compliance with Buda building regulations. And we are going to discuss the difference between the old program and the new LEAP program. Changes for this year. It's the name. The Small Business Incentive Program is now, of course, referred to as LEAP. The amounts have always been up to $10,000 per business per year, and that was for all categories. This year, we have made the change that is up to $10,000 per business per year for most of the categories, with the exception of marketing. Marketing is now up to $3,000 per business per year. Now that can be combined to go ahead and up to the 10,000. So you could apply for up to 3,000 for marketing, and then you could apply for another incentive that might be building improvements, or it might be workforce development or software that will be up to 7,000. So keep that in mind. And then the types of incentives. This is also where we see some changes. We have added equipment and software. And in addition to the building improvement category, we have added public facing beautification. So that includes exterior work done to the building, and even including hardscaping and landscaping. So keep that in mind. The other big change to occur is the completion within 6 months of signing the agreement. In the past, while our calendar year, of course, consists of 12 months. What we are wanting to make sure of is that the work is actually done in 6 months to allow for any money that has not been used can actually go back into the bucket, and we can reapply that or reapprove some of the other applicants to where that money can still be distributed. And so, again, another change that has not, well, something that has not changed, let me just say that correctly, is the receipts, the importance of the receipts. So when you are applying, you must remember that this is a reimbursement incentive. So that means you're going to go ahead, do your due diligence, get quotes for the work, decide on your contractor, you're going to do all of that, and you're going to submit a paid receipt or multiple paid receipts at one time that's going to show that there is a zero balance owed, that it is paid in full. That is a requirement. And so we are now also asking that only one time will you upload all of these receipts, and the payment, the reimbursement payment, will be made to you just one time. In the past, we have had it become very difficult to keep up with. If someone had received a $10,000 reimbursement, but then they submitted multiple invoices throughout the duration, and maybe 4 times, 5 times, wanting, different reimbursement increments of 2,000, 1,500, something along those lines. As you can imagine, that can get very confusing and rather difficult to keep up with. So we are simplifying the process for ourselves as well, and for you as you go along. So just keep that in mind. Eligibility. You must be within the Buda city limits or the Buda ETJ. So now on the application itself, there will be a link, a hyperlink there that you will click on, and you'll be taken to a map where you're going to see the ETJ, and then inside that, you're going to see the Buda city limits. What we are going to request is you'll do a screenshot, and that will then attach to your application itself. So that way we can not only say that we've seen where your building is actually, or your location is, but we'll have proof of it, and we can actually share that with the committee as they are reviewing. Number 2, you must adhere to the regulations and codes of the city of Buda. So that's nothing new, that's to be expected. Number 3, you must provide quotes and estimates for the work in which you're wanting to have done. You also have to show an IRS return, which, if you are a home-based business, that is something that will be expected, and it will also prompt you on your application to attach. And then if you're doing any kind of building improvements to your space, whether it be interior or exterior, and you're leasing that property, you must have a written authorization from the property owner. And then number 4, you must be current on all bills and taxes with the city of Buda. So that is something that we will also request. And you will just click on a link, and you can make sure that you are up to date on all of that. Home-based businesses, let's cover that a little bit more. So home-based businesses are eligible for the reimbursement incentive, and you're eligible as long as you have an annual gross revenue totaling greater than $20,000 per year. So that is where we are going to ask for you to attach your IRS tax return to show proof of that. And then the other Part B of this is that you need to be open or in business for at least 1 year prior to applying. The performance agreement. After you've gone through the process and you have been approved, you will be issued a performance agreement, which must be signed in order for you to receive the incentive. And at that time, we will also make sure that your vendor packet is filled out. So that is a requirement and will be attached to your application as well. And then there's the commitment. In order for you to receive the incentive reimbursement, businesses must agree to staying open for 1 year, or you're going to have to repay the amount in which you are incentivized. Here's the funding overview. So the general reimbursements are up to $10,000 per business per year. That has not changed. The marketing reimbursements has changed. It is up to $3,000 per business per year. And our fiscal year, while it actually runs from October 1 to September 30th, we have highlighted it here as October 1st through May 30th. That's showing that for the first 6 months is actually where you are eligible to apply for the incentive, and then that remaining 6 months. So if we have an application that comes in and is approved on May 30th, that's going to give exactly 6 months from that day to go ahead and spend that money and be reimbursed. And that is really what we are looking for. So something that I have not even made mention of is this program. We have actually increased the budget for this. So this is a program that has $275,000 in this line item, this account, for us to be able to put back into the pockets of our local businesses. So just keep that in mind. And it is a first come, first serve. So while we want you to, be thinking about what improvements or what you need to do, also realize that other people are going to be applying. So just keep that in mind and don't wait too long. So steps to apply. Number one, you're going to apply online. The link is going to live on our website. You'll click on that link and you'll go through the application and fill it out accordingly. It will also show you where things need to be attached and what needs to be attached. Number two is the initial review by the incentive committee. So again, that committee meets once a month. I host that meeting, so I will, as the applications come in, I actually comb through the applications, of course, prior to the meeting, and I oftentimes am reaching out by phone or by email, perhaps setting up a meeting with you to walk through your application and make sure that we have everything taken care of and as tight as can be, so I can actually present it to the committee effectively. After it goes through the incentive committee, it is then reviewed by the Buda Economic Development Corporation board. And from there, if it is approved, you will receive an award letter and a performance agreement will be sent to you for your signature. Number 5, the reimbursement submission and completion will need to be done within 6 months of signing that agreement. And then number 6, the incentives are competitive and they are on a first come and first serve basis. So just keep that in mind. The takeaways, the key takeaways: complete the project within 6 months. Submit all receipts at one time for a one-time reimbursement. You will be asked to complete an exit survey. We also will ask for you to send photos of completed work so we can share that in social media or just share along the way. And then we ask of you that you will share your experiences with other business owners here in our community as well, and really let them know the value of working alongside the Buda EDC and how we might be able to help them. And that brings us to the end. And I thank you for your time. Of course, we are here to answer questions. On the screen is my contact information, as well as Shannon Cameron, who is our office manager and will be handling a lot of the inside tracking of the incentives. So please make sure you do a screenshot or take a photo of that and reach out to me if you'd like to schedule an appointment. And I'd be happy to come to you or have you come to the office and sit down and just talk for a little bit and go through the application if need be.